Hey everybody, it's Justice for Comics. I wanted to shoot a quick video highlighting some books of mine, some recent ones that I picked up for my collection, some stuff I've owned for a little while that I wanted to highlight, stuff that I like that I kind of think is awesome to have. One of them here is the All-Star Batman #1. This is the Turner sketch variant, and I also have the color variant as well. You know, this was kind of a hot book when it first came out. Obviously, Michael Turner's has passed away. He's been gone for several years now, but you know, he obviously still has a lot of artwork in his collection that they're still bringing out. So I just love. I don't think anybody draws structure, especially like upper body proportions, like Turner does. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of good artists today, but I don't see anyone that quite has the ability to draw. I don't think his faces are the best, but anatomy-wise, he's probably one of the best of all time, in my opinion. As far as anatomy, he's unbelievable. He is one of the best, and it's a shame he's gone. He's definitely missed, in my opinion. He was one of my favorite cover artists in the 2000 era, you know, from 2002 to probably 2008 or 9. He was one of my favorite cover artists. So I wanted to show that one off. Love me some Michael Turner covers. So if I see them come out once in a while, I'll buy one of those when they come out. The other one here is Venom #5. Pretty cool Stegman cover. I like that cover with the wings. And you've got the variant, Fantastic Four variant, which I love Zaffino. So he's one of my favorite cover artists lately, and I like him because he's kind of gritty. I mean, he's really, really good at just creating like a very gritty style. Trying to think who is similar to that. Maybe an Alex Maleev. I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly. Maleev, I think his name is. Kind of similar to that. Has kind of a gritty, definitely a gritty style in his artwork, and I think it's pretty cool. So anytime I see a cover of his, I try to pick it up. Picked up, I think in my last video I had mentioned Blade, the Vampire Hunter, so I did get finally #9 and 10. These are real hard to find. I checked not too long ago. I don't think I saw anything on eBay for sale. Maybe you can find them in back issue bins. I mean, that could be one that you could hunt down because there was a lot of these from the 90s. This was 94. So a lot of these 90 issues, people just weren't buying them. They didn't get a lot of attention. I don't think the artwork is that fantastic. It's definitely a lot of that 90s artwork. I don't know. It's not my style. I don't care for the style of the artwork, but the Blade movie's coming out. Obviously, I'd love to get that Tomb of Dracula #10, the first appearance of Blade. But that book is pretty pricey. I mean, it keeps going up too. And I would love to get like an 8.5 or a 9, and you know, you're talking about spending close to $1,000, $800 to $1,000 for an 8.5 to a 9.0. Yeah, that's a lot of money. I mean, I like Blade, but I don't think I like him that much. I'd rather use that money for something else. So unless I found a really, really good deal, maybe a Fine or a Fine Plus for $200 or $300, you know, I may try to hunt that down. But yeah, I don't think a very Fine Plus to a near mint minus is going to be in my price range. It's just too expensive. So this might be a good one. I think this will heat up. There's none for sale. The print run is very, very low, very scarce to find this. So who knows? That movie comes out, you could see these come on the market for some decent money. So if you see them in your local comic book shop, I would pick one up if I were you. Also wanted to highlight one of my grails that I've been looking for a long time. DC Comics presents #26. A lot of you probably are familiar with this. This is the first appearance of the new Teen Titans. So it's a first appearance of Cyborg, first appearance of Starfire, and Raven. So, you know, that's a pretty marquee book. I definitely consider it a major key from the early 80s. I think Perez is the artist on this. could be wrong about that. It looks like Perez artwork, and it's got a cool cover. You've got Green Lantern and Superman. So you've got a Green Lantern and Superman story, and then at the back of the book, you've got a insert, basically a 16-page preview of the Teen Titans. So, yeah, DC was doing that sometimes, that they would introduce new ideas in these DC Comic Presents titles. So this was one that I had my eye on for a long time. It's very good condition. I won this on a bid auction. It was advertised as a 9.4. I definitely agree. It might be higher than that. I mean, there is not much wrong. Slight little, very, very tiny, minute spine stress near the staple right there, which doesn't take off much in grading, and the rest of the spine is like perfect. Maybe a little teeny surface dent there. Very, very, you'd have to really look for it to see it. Corners are really, really nice and sharp. I mean, this thing is clean. Easily 9.4. I don't know if CGC would give it a 9.6. They might, if the grader was having a good morning, maybe he would give it a 9.6. But even at a 9.4, I bought this for $150. It's easily worth $250 to $275 in 9.4 condition. So normally this would go for well over $200, and I just got lucky. I was surprised there weren't more bidders on it, and I watched it. The auction ended late at night, so that's another good sign. Sometimes you can get really good deals if the auctions end very late, because people sometimes forget to stay up. And I got lucky. $150. This was, I got a great deal. I think it's at least $100 more in value. So I got a fantastic deal on that book, and one of my grails I've been looking for a long time. So I'm finally glad to have it in the old collection. Another book I picked up here, actually I added 2 more Conan books. I've been collecting a lot of these Conan the Barbarian. I just got this in the mail today, number 8, and this is a really, really high grade. Nothing going on in this issue. It's just an early Conan the Barbarian issue from the early 70s. I think you got Barry Windsor art, pretty cool artwork. Just a classic cover, and just really sweet. This thing is easily 9.0, probably higher than that. Probably a 9.2 or better. So really not much wrong with it. Spine is perfect. Just beautiful looking book. So I'm glad to have that. Also, I got Conan the Barbarian number 13, Web of the Spider God. Again, nothing really significant with this particular book. I just like the cover a lot, and it's an early Conan book, and it's really, really clean. I mean, this thing is near mint condition, probably 9.2, 9.4 easily. Really, really nice shape. So if I can find a really nice older book from the 70s in fantastic condition, I will definitely pick it up. Last but not least, I wanted to show an Amazing Spider-Man number 82. This was, believe it or not, this was a free comic book. I had purchased something from an eBay seller rather, and it just took a long time to get the book. I think he was out of town, he was out of the country, something like that, and there was no communication. So I did finally get the book, but he was really, really nice. He had a fantastic eBay website, very, very professional, and he gave me some trade-in value. And this was one of the ones that he had on his list that I liked. And, the one I saw on his eBay store wasn't as good a condition as this. I told him I love that Amazing Spider-Man 82. The cover is just awesome. I just love this Electro cover. I remember watching the cartoon. Electro was my favorite villain back in the day. So, this cover kind of means something to me. I know there's nothing significant going on here. It's not a first appearance of anybody or anything like that. But it's it's an early Spider-Man issue, and this thing is so awesome. He basically said, "Hey, I've got several issues of this. I'll send you my best copy," which I can't believe he did that. This thing is, I think maybe one little spine tick on the spine. The rest of the spine is like perfect. Edges are really, really sharp, nice. I mean, for a book this old, the colors are just like brand new on this thing. So, you know, this would grade pretty high, I think. And it's an early Amazing Spider-Man, and yeah, I love it. I think it's glad to have it in my collection. I'd love to track down more of these over time. Obviously, there's a lot of YouTubers that have been collecting Amazing Spider-Man for years, and I kind of wish I was one of those people that had been hunting down these older issues when they were somewhat affordable. A lot of them now are so expensive. It's going to take a while to accumulate more, but yeah, I got a pretty decent run. I've got a couple of them in the 100 range, some keys, first appearances here and there, but you know, just one of those things. We're all trying to build our collections, and you know, this is one that I'm glad to have in the personal collection. So thought I'd highlight that. I'll do another video here in a few days going over some books that are coming out for this Wednesday. Yeah, there's a couple titles. Obviously, last week, Batman Damned came out, and that's a hot book. Everybody's been talking about that. I've got the A and the B cover coming to me from Midtown. I'm kind of glad I didn't know it was magazine size, because I am not somebody who cares for magazine size comic books. You know, if they're not Silver Age or Modern Age size, it's kind of more difficult to store them. You know, your comic book box may not necessarily fit real well with those type of issues. Also, you know, I like to have my books in Mylar, you know, if they're worth some money. And you know, now if I get these books, I'm gonna probably have to track down a magazine-sized Mylar, which is probably not gonna be easy. So, but I'm glad I selected it, because obviously those are some high-end books now. I think they're selling for like $50, $60 a piece now on eBay for those Batman Damned. So I will shoot another video here in a day or so, kind of highlighting what's coming out on Wednesday of this following week, so you guys can get my opinion of what I think looks good to track down. And hope everybody has a great weekend, and I will talk to you in a few days. All right, thanks guys.